Senator Roy Blunt on with us on the right of conscience, which is right now being considered in the U.S. Senate as an amendment. Is that correct, Senator?
Well, I hope so. You know, Senator Reid last week when I tried to bring this amendment up said that this discussion about the Constitution was silly and people needed to just come. And I don't agree with Harry Reid on lots of things, and that would be one of them. So hopefully we'll have the debate and have the vote, but more importantly, I want to see this right protected, the right of religious freedom protected on a must-sign bill of some kind, either by this president or the next president needs to sign legislation that we have all throughout hiring law, these exceptions for faith-based institutions. Now that there are health care mandates for the first time under President Obama's health care law, we need to have the same exceptions under health care directives for faith-based institutions and for people who have health care providers and others who have an objection, a religious objection to certain things that may be legal, but from their point of view are not something that they want to participate in, and that the society should honor that as it has in so many ways for 220 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you...
Bill of Rights.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Senator Blunt, because in the end, some people say, well, why do we need this amendment if we already have the Constitution? It's sad that we even have to go through this.
Well, this is not a new concept. If you look through labor law, there are all kinds of exceptions where, based on faith and moral objections, just like the conscientious objector rules in the Army. You can conscientiously object, but there has to be a reason to conscientiously object according to the Supreme Court. So this is not a new concept, and for all of those people who want to change the topic here, Jamie, and say, well, anybody could do this or anybody could do that under this exception, one, that's not true. Two, nobody would have any rights with this amendment when it passes that they haven't had for 220 years. Employers have had these same rights forever, and we're just saying with this amendment that they should continue to be able to have the ability based on their faith, and particularly religious institutions should have based on their faith to not be required to do things that are objectionable. And the Respect for Conscience Act doesn't mention any procedure of any kind. It treats the Christian Science view of health and the Catholic view of health and the Methodist view of health and the Muslim view of health exactly the same. What it says is, if you have a faith-based reason not to participate in some particular health procedure, you don't have to do that if your reason is based on faith.
Yeah. Well, what a shame that we still have to go back to Congress and you have to even write this up just to simply reiterate guarantees that were written up long before we were ever born. But that's good that you're doing this, and we appreciate you, Senator Blunt. It's called the right of conscience, and if you want to have an impact, when is this going to actually have a vote? Do you know?
Well, I don't know, Jamie, but it really would help if people would begin to call their senators and their members of Congress and either reinforce their willingness to be part of protecting this or encourage them to protect it. Because I guarantee you the other side has gotten totally mobilized on what they want to talk about, which is the one thing, the contraception issue. And this is not about contraception.
Right.
It's about objection to being required to do something that your faith tells you that you shouldn't do, whatever that might be, if it's truly faith-based. And that's the oldest protection we have had under the Constitution or the Virginia statutes for religious freedom, which predate the Constitution, and we need to continue to have that fight, and I'm glad you're talking about it.
All right, well, I'm glad you are too, Senator Blunt. We appreciate you coming on the air with us, and good luck with it.
Good to talk to you. Look forward to being with you in the studio soon, and thanks for all you're doing to continue to talk about democracy and freedom and the Constitution.
All right, Senator Roy Blunt, appreciate you very much.